So, hi everybody. We are finally live, I think. So, we had some technical issues because, yeah, laptop. It's kind of old and it's kind of, just not playing well here, but it's okay. Anyway, how is everybody? Let me know in the comments and I'll see if I can, follow along. But before we move on, I am going to talk about Sated. So this is the launch date of My Husband Wants to Keep Me Sated. It is the last book in the My Husband Wants series. And if you want a special edition, you can buy some from Libreria here. Link should be in the description box below, or you can buy it from my website and get a little bit of swag along with it too. So without further ado, we are going to get into these slides, if it'll play correctly. All right, so the first book is My Husband Wants to Keep Me Pristine. Second one is My Husband Wants to Keep Me Dominant. Third book is My Husband Wants to Keep Me Gay. And the fourth and final, which is launching today, is My Husband Wants to Keep Me Sated. It was a long, I want to say it was a long process, but it wasn't really. It took me 20 days to write all four of these books, the first draft of all of them. So, yeah, it wasn't really long at all. My Husband Wants to Keep Me Pristine is a dark romantic comedy fantasy, fun and refreshing. Verson is determined to have her husband do his bedroom duties, but he's also determined to keep her pristine for a better man or the next husband, because he's pretty sure that he's going to die soon. It's comedy of errors, misunderstandings, and frustrations all around. Kind of like um, a Robin Hood Men in Tights kind of thing, but there is a chastity belt. Next is My Husband Wants to Keep Me Dominant. Is a dark romantic comedy fantasy. It's a touch darker than Pristine because of Harry's traumatic background. And it does go into the war a lot. So if you have any trigger warnings for, it does have trigger warnings for death, gore, incest, rape, necrophilia, sex, sexual innuendos, BDSM, and a C-section. So now you know. But Harry is apparently the favorite out of the series, so it's well worth the read. Next is My Husband Wants to Keep Me Gay. It is also a dark romantic comedy fantasy. Wonder why. You finally get to learn a bit more about Fedvick and his need for Doxy. Also, more about Doxy and why Fedvick caught his eye. How many times will Doxy blush and fumble his words in this book? And trigger warnings include death, gore, necrophilia, sex, and sexual innuendos. And next is, of course, My Husband Wants to Keep Me Sated. Last but not least, the quiet one, Charn, gets his own book. He doesn't think he's lonely until he meets her. Liliana dreams of a blue-eyed prince whisking her away from her cage and maybe also whisking up a delicious cake too. Trigger warnings for death and gore and trapped in her own home, kind of like a kidnapping type. Mentions of rape and trauma and PTSD. So this is a little bit about Charn and Liliana, and yes, those images are AI, but it's the best that I can do for now. There is artwork coming. It's just taking a little while longer than what I wanted. But some of the things you can look forward to in Sated is a curvy female main character, Feed Me Seymour with non-cannibalistic tendencies, experienced with naive and secret identities, and flashbacks, because there are flashbacks in all four books. So, yeah. Next is the boys and Rix, which is a they, them who you meet in this one. So Rix is the one and only constant in Lily's life, her guard, and whom she considers a best friend, even though she has never seen their face, nor can she ever get a straight answer from them on who they are. It's a series of unfortunate dates with Charn. Verson is trying to play matchmaker, and it doesn't really go quite as planned with any of them. And Liliana is, of course, not sure who her real family is. She doesn't know who she is, really. Well, I mean, she doesn't know who her family is. So there's that. Some of my favorite scenes are as follows. Let me check a couple things here. Yeah, okay. So my family used to call me Charn, which will be good enough. You are. He put the old sword back in the cracked scabbard at his side. He found it in the wreckage of his great grandfather's home. Regis, Harry, Fedvig, Bertrand, Slaith. Regis pointed to each one of them. Harry grinned and, with arms wide open, said, "Welcome to the band of vicious tamers." "We are not going with that," Regis said with a roll of his eyes. So, yeah, I will put a link to the slides down here because, yeah. And some more favorite scenes from Sated, and of course, even more. A lot of these I went over in the cover reveal, so I'm not going to read them just yet. One of the favorite things from Gay is his feet were off the ground. No one had carried him since he was a child. The men knocked into him with grunts and a rather colorful curse. Fedvik said with a huff, "Right, then left." "Right," Charm nodded. "No, it's left." Doxy looked down at the men's feet to either side of him. "My right?" "We all have the same right," Fedvik cried, running his free hand over his face. It's from chapter 11 of My Husband Wants to Keep Me Gay, which is called Stairway to Heaven. And a couple more scenes from Gay. Um, one of my absolute favorite couple of lines is from chapter 23. "I can't leave you alone in this den of iniquity." Harry sat down beside Fedvik and watched the session before them. Fedvik snorted. "You're one to talk. Every room you enter turns into a den of iniquity." So yeah, a couple more from Dominant. So again, these slides will be available later. Um, but yeah. And of course, some scenes from Pristine are in the slides as well. Uh, this is one of my absolute favorites because Regis actually kicks her out of the bedroom. So, "Move to the middle, love." She did as she was told, scooting back while still watching him. Her heart skipped as he placed his hands on the bed, his hair falling forward in a wave of soft brown. She gasped when he lunged. Then the chamber turned inky black again, and stifling. Tight bands were around her, making her curl in on herself so that her chin rested on her knees and her arms were pinned to her sides. He was muttering something above her. She strained to hear him as she tried wiggling free. The bedspread. He'd caught her with the bedspread. How had she not seen that coming? She giggled as she realized something he couldn't as she realized something. He couldn't carry her all the way to her room. He had to keep her here, and she was bound to free herself. The bands left. Her stomach leapt into her throat, and she landed on her butt. Thankfully, the bedspread was thick enough to cushion her. But she still knew there would be a bruise. "Go to your rooms," Regis growled far above her. Then his door slammed. He's so mean to her. And there is the map that I have always shared. and is in every book. And this is what you can expect: battles and training, uh, humans, dragonkin, and laughter, lots of laughter, and all the things. So feel free to pick a read in the comments, and I will do videos on that. So, um, what we'll do, I'll do this, see if I can make myself bigger. So, thank you for joining me. I know this is short and sweet, but we did have technical difficulties, and yeah, it's aggravating. But anyway, I hope you enjoy Sated. Remember that you can get special editions. There's going to be only 40 of them. 40. So be the first to order. You can order some here from Libreria through bookshop.org if you want. Link should be down below. If it's not, I'll fix that. Or you can go to carterrickardwriting.com and order from there and get a little bit of swag. All right.